Hello, gamers! Welcome to Gamers Galaxie Special Edition GOG, that is for Guild of Guardians, and today we are going to be talking about the Chris Clay Town Hall that just came out recently. But before we jump into that, hello, Woody. How are you doing today, my friend?
Good, WT. How are you?
Staying busy as usual, and we got a lot to talk about in this one, so we're going to try to hit as many points as we can in a short amount of time. Chris Clay did a town hall that was probably one of the better ones in a while. Just a lot of information talking about Act 2 coming out and several other things. And we want to hit the key highlights of what was the most important information out of there. And so what really hit you the hardest in this town hall, Woody?
Yeah, so I wrote a post about this, and what really stood out for me is sort of where we are with this project, right? And I want to start by saying that if you don't listen to Chris's town halls, but you play a lot of GOG, start. Because Chris, unlike a lot of other game directors, is really transparent about where they are and how they perform and, where they're going next. And he seems to be really down to earth and listens to the community quite a bit. Like, I've seen this team sort of change course a lot based on community feedback. So I just want to promote that for your listeners, right? Go there, get the information from Chris directly. For me, though, it really came down to the retention stats. Because obviously the game got a lot of criticism for the reboot, play like the big change in direction, and then the play time and all of this stuff. But it's, when you look at the retention stats, so 600,000 downloads on the Play Store and the App Store, and then 230 monthly active users, and I think it was something like 13,000 monthly active buyers. It's good. It's not, it's not like a Minecraft kind of good, but it's good. There's activity. People are playing the game. People are purchasing. So they're contributing to the ecosystem. So that's one thing. And then I hooked on to the Tamamo sale, because the Tamamo sale, and you heard Chris say, well, this didn't perform the way that we wanted it to perform. So again, team being very self-aware about the way things are going. And course correcting, so you saw them delay the banners for all of the other Gen 1s while they take the month to figure out what went wrong. So I think when you're looking at it, it's kind of like, you're seeing a video game build itself, right? And it's not going to be just like a straight shot upwards to the moon. It's going to be sort of this up and down. The guild features were supposed to be live at launch. Instead, we're seeing them sort of phase them out over time. So the next step is going to be guild raids, which I'm really excited for. I think that's going to be really great to find that new level of gameplay. I was just on a stream, or I was on a stream earlier with one of the product developers from Immutable. She said that they are looking at guild chat, which is really exciting.
Oh yeah,
as well.
nice.
Yeah, hugely needed.
Yep.
So yeah, like a lot of good takeaways. If you're a longtime supporter, I think there's a lot to feel good about, because this is the development process, right? It's that iteration and hitting those roadblocks, and that's where you really see if a project is going to rug or if it's going to kind of keep on going, right? Is if that the team really rallies around those failures and really does that diagnostics of what went wrong, and they're taking the right steps to correct. And I think if you listen to that town hall, you can come in sort of as a pessimist, but then see that there really is this will from Chris and the team to go the right direction.
Yeah, you've hit on a lot of points that were actually, on my note list here. Also is like, right off the bat, you said retention, and compared to Shadow Legends or Hero Wars, they weren't too far off on most of them. I think one of them they might have been a little bit better. I'd have to go back and double check, but that this was on iOS. They were down on Android a little bit for the 30-day, which they were concerned about, but in general, they were in the ballpark of some of these, Web 2 hits, and that's promising for sure. I did like how they took ownership of the Tamamo sale, just basically being a flop, which, it was obvious to see. And I like the ownership. I like the ownership. They're not just going to come in and, blow smoke and like, oh, everything is sunshine and lollipops. You know, they're going to call themselves out when they make mistakes, and I like that direction. It's completely different from the last regime, so hats off to Chris on that. I like the guild power trees. It gets more guild activity, which we definitely need. And you also talked about the raids. The raids was a core element to the original GOG, so I almost forgot that raids was going to be a part of this because it's been so long, and it's nice to see they're going to try and follow through on that. The UX adjustments, yes, less time on endless. Love that. I absolutely love that you can curse, or you can skip the curses now. I'm getting the dungeon token every time just to skip the curse. It's just, I like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that one a lot. And yeah, a lot of the points you made of that they're evolving this. And you know, he said that it's going to be a work in progress, but you know, they got a product out, and you can see that it's going to take a little time, but things are changing, and that's got to look positive for the whole entire GOG community. Thoughts on that?
Absolutely. Well, no, absolutely. And you know, like I have you ever played Among Us?
Yes.
Yeah. So Among Us, you know, as a game, didn't really do well for the first year. And actually, if you, because I do some research sometimes on weird stuff. So
Okay.
one of them is why video games fail. And Among Us was actually really close to failing until for just kind of randomly a bunch of YouTubers picked up on this game and started playing it, and then it just kind of skyrocketed. And I think this is really what to expect with GOG. It's gonna sort of go sideways until it just kind of catches, right? This isn't really because you know, and I know, you know, the we all want it to just skyrocket right out of the game and,
Right.
and go like degen levels of success, right? But that's the video game market. Like, who knows how players are going to react to a new offering? Nobody really knows. But yeah, I think the silver lining here is that the game is working. It's a good product. It has a team that cares about it, pushing it. It has big support from the publisher, Immutable. It's got great virality potential too, right? Because it's like, it looks good and it's got good soundtrack and all this. So
Yeah.
all the elements are there. I think we're just really waiting for it to kind of take off. And I know Chris. Yeah, well, I don't know Chris. Sorry, maybe I should say it that way. But listening to Chris, I think you know what he sees is just, you know, make the product good, and I like his mentality of continuous improvement, right? And at some point, if you put a good product, it's kind of not unlike my approach with my content. If I put a really solid product out there, eventually it will find its audience. I kind of see the same thing with GOG.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like, you know, something you brought up. They're working on getting guild chat in. Oh my gosh, that would be so awesome, because then you feel the social aspect, which is something that they originally wanted to do. The one beef I have from this town hall, we still don't have an auto crafting combining button. That I was dying to hear that. Oh,
You know, I know, and the crafting. Oh, the crafting. So much time spent on merging things. I think they probably had a different they saw it working differently when they designed that, right? And I think part of it, I've had someone tell me that it's more of an anti-bot measure, because the bot can't like merge stuff.
Ooh.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, I think we're kind of seeing the dark side of it too, right? Which is you like just kind of clicking and sliding things endlessly when it's time to craft. Yeah, for sure.
That makes sense.
For sure. And
I
yeah,
didn't think
auto
about
merge
that.
would be great.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So great point. Anything else you want to add before we get out of here today?
No. I'll just reiterate. You know, if you don't listen to these town, and you know, I know they're long and they're hard, but it's worth. I think you know, again, if you're kind of like on the fence about the project, I think listening to Chris is a great way to get back in, or to renew your faith in the project, because he's such a really like down to earth, really good communicator, and you can literally ask him anything in those streams and he'll answer. You know, so yeah, so I really enjoyed catching them, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was one of the better ones in a while, and yeah, Chris
Mm-hmm.
is just amazing. I've talked to him before, and I don't know him personally either, just like you, but Anyway, yeah, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Token Trove. They are absolutely awesome, and their platform is just growing and expanding, and it's good to see, along with the Immutable ecosystem. If you haven't, make sure you follow Woody at GameFi Nexus. Tons of information coming on him. And if you're not in the Gamers Galaxie Discord, you are missing out on all kinds of alpha news and contests, and you should be in there. And I want to thank our GOG community, Immutable ecosystem community, for listening to us and supporting us. Everybody take care. Bye-bye now.